Hello, hello, chat. Finally. So this is the second try to do a live streaming today and building in public PeopleDear. So I was having a lot of troubles trying to do dual stream in with OBS, and I wasn't able to do it. So I still need to test something. And if you guys can, just give me feedback through the chat. So how the sound is, the music, and if everything is okay. So what I have done, instead of trying to do dual streaming through OBS, I'm doing it through Restream. And it seems that it's working okay. And actually, for what I'm seeing, I'm able to stream both to YouTube and Twitch. No, I think I'm not able. Let's see. Let me share the window. Okay, so we are on Twitch. Cool. But then on YouTube, let us check. No, no, actually, YouTube also. Okay. Okay, Francisco Barrento, we were able to set it. Okay, so what are we going to talk today? And let me open here YouTube and let me search a video of, let me go to the Nuno Maduro channel. Lives. Let me try to bring this to the party sound. Okay, so now I can hear Nuno. Okay, so let's see where this guy is talking about the. Oh, it's here. Let's hear them.
Question I get, which is, if you have a complex query that you need to perform in your controller, something that, for example, offers some sort of search functionality or something that filters users by a particular thing, or you just have a query that you want to do, would you do that within an action file, or you would use query scopes? What exactly would you use for something like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would create a dedicated query class, actually, with a third option.
Okay, so that's what I do, but...
And that's what I do also. So a dedicated query class. And yeah, we have done this yesterday, and let's see, we have here a dedicated query class. But actually, this one is wrong, and we need to fix it in several ways. We have done it yesterday, but I have rolled it back so we can do it together and we can focus on this case.
But I want to hear from you. How do you do it? Like, you just create the queries folder. How you do that exactly?
Yeah, exactly. A queries folder, and then I think this has been a long time, but you can extend from the model query builder or something like that, and that was one option. But something, you can just create an empty class basically and have it like an invoke method or something. So technically you could say it's an action, but I find that it's important to categorize code not necessarily on its technical properties, but also on the conceptual thing that it is basically.
So typically that's the way I approach it. Like, I just go to my app folder, I create a queries folder, then I have a user list query, for example, which returns back typically even a static method like this, execute or whatever, and this will return back a builder. And what I do inside is that I return the base user list query. Okay, so I may want to do something like, okay, I want to return all the users where this is true, but that is not true. Because I'm displaying a list of users, so potentially I don't want to show the ones that are not verified yet, for example, or the ones that are not subscribed yet. So I return the base query, and then what the controller can do is paginate that if they want to, or not paginate if we think it's a query not worth of pagination. So here is Hadrian saying that he uses its own builder class, which is interesting. So it's dedicated eloquent builder. Let's open this article. Actions that do not mutate the system, correct? So if you have something...
It does.
Oh no, I guess I'm going to call you back, I guess.
we still have 50.
They have different names for this kind of stuff. I think Ruby have a different name as well. Rails, I mean. But the action name...
Okay, so based on this video, let's implement it like in the brand way. And let's see, let's jump here back, and we should have we have an error. Okay, and we already have done this yesterday. We can just quickly fix this error and continue from there. And I forgot what was this error. No problem. So the controller, you see overview controller, and time of request data, it's missing the type parameter. I think we need to pass it here. Yes, it was this. We were not loading the relation. Okay. But yesterday we also found out that here on the construct we cannot use the current user, because if we want to run this query in a console command, we will not have the current user. That Laravel resolves it from the container and from the request, so we don't have a HTTP request on the console, so we cannot use it. I'm repeating myself, I know, but I want to be looking at this because I want to refactor everything. But now let's see. Let's think a little bit about model scopes against building our own query classes. And let's say that so we have this thing here that on this page, on the on the overview page of an employee, we want to show only the latest 5 time off requests of that employee. So how could we implement this in a model with scopes? So let's jump to our time of request model, and let's open also our time of request test. Okay, and let's first start by testing the of employee scope works correctly. I want to do it this. So we will need the employee, right? I think I will disable, let's say, auto completion, or I will slow it down a little bit while I'm doing streams. Time of request for this employee. Okay, and we want to create a new time of request, and we can say, okay, count, give me 10. Create 10 for me. Okay, and now what I want to do is latest time of requests, and so of that user, so the scope that we want to start to implement. Time of request. Okay, and now we want to implement something like of employee, and we pass the employee. We go and we get the latest, and yeah, and now we expect the latest requests to have a count of 5, let's say. Okay, cool. And of course, if we run sometimes AI doesn't help. Okay, call to an unidentified method. And let's jump to Laravel documentation. Not this one. It's this one. I need to take a phone call from Beatriz, my daughter. I will be right back. I'm back. So, okay. So what we want is we want to implement a scope like this one, off, but instead of being off type, it's of use employee. So scopes, they need to be protected. Protected function, and we are going to say it's of employee. So, and this accepts a builder, development, and we can call it query like that, and we will accept also a employee, and it will return a builder. Oh no, it's not going to return anything. Void. And this query, no, let's see. Employee equals to employee ID, and yeah, it's done. And now we need to give it an attribute of scope. Okay, let's go to our test, run our test. Okay, and but it's working. We just need to limit this to 5, and now if we run it again, it's done. But we can start to see something, because our IDE is complaining about something. So to start with is, if we want to having the time of request, and then we want some auto-completion, the IDE doesn't know anything about the of user scope, because it's Laravel doing his magic behind the scenes, and so it doesn't know. It's like a magic property. It's something that it's built behind the scenes, and so we don't know what's happening. And this is not auto-completion. This is just the AI, I guess, guessing that, because it already have read the or understood the model itself. Okay, so it's here. But let's say we want to use model scopes and we want auto-completion. How can we achieve this? We can go to our doc blocks, and here on our properties, we can say that we have a method that is going to be a static method, and it's going to be of employee accepts an employee, and now we can say that this will return a builder. A builder, and can we set the type of the builder? So let's see. Now let's see if it finds the of. And it doesn't find the. Why doesn't it find the? Hmm? on the class. So this is what's wrong, because we need to specify here the return type. Can we type this also? No. No. No auto completion. Why not? Let's just copy this here. Then and the music. Nope. Huh. This is exactly the example that I want to implement. Right? Builder static. I don't understand why would we need builder static. Okay, and this will be of employee. We will accept a employee, right? This is the same. And now we don't have auto completion. And here we have auto completion. So what's happening here? Off. Okay, but now he knows, okay, now it doesn't help me, but he already knows what this static method is. And he already also knows that it's returning a builder, and maybe we can be again more specific again and say that it's returning a builder of the time of request. Okay. Okay, so it looks, but okay, so if we want to have auto completion, and if we want to know that this static method exists on this model, we will need to implement the method. We will need to declare it on the doc blocks as a static method. And for me, I think this is there is too much magic under the scenes, and also I like to have my models slim, without just like with casting and with relations, and I like to keep scopes out of it. So let's use that query that we were working yesterday, and let's improve it. How can we do that? Let's wait. So no, I don't need it. We can just, okay. So what will we do? So we will drop this. Okay, we will remove this because we are not going to use scopes on our models, and we will remove this from here, and now we are going to create a new query. And this query, it's going to be time of request query builder. Query builder. Let's declare strict types. It's going to be a final class, of course. And now this is going to have a private private builder. It's going to be builder. Now we can have on the constructor a builder, and now we are going to set the builder. But let's do it. No. We are not going to do this in this way. We are going to use the invoke method. Of course, this is wrong. Come on, Francisco. Sometimes, or all the times, I need to have a lot of patience. To me, or for me. let's go again with the construct and then let's decide. Okay, and here the builder will be a time of request query. Again. Let's create a test for this query. Queries. Request query. Builder. Test. Test. Requests. Query. Can scope by employee. Okay, let's just create a and let's right now create let's go crazy and let's create by the way this no, this is the folder. Okay, factory for this employee. Let's count and let's create 10 time of requests. Okay, and now what we want is to have the query, and it's going to be a new time of request query builder. And let's move this to the invoke method. And identify, but let's implement that public function of employee. We will accept the employee is builder. Finally, we have so many errors because we have a typo on our function, right? employee. Okay, if we do this, the invoke method is wrong. The invoke method will return the self, and here we will return this. Because we need to do it like this. Of employee, yeah. So what we need to do is, like Nuno was doing on this video, is to implement a public function make. It's going to return the builder, and here we can say, okay, make okay, and we do have our time offs. They are not filtered yet, but we could do something like after we have the builder, we can say limit 5, and also we could say that they are the latest. Okay, and we have 5 now. Let's look if we can improve, let's say, this here and bring a different scope. Let's call it in this way, scopes here, or they are methods, and but since they are methods, okay, of employee, and we want to get the last 5. We can say, okay, latest, and now we can simply come here and look. One big difference from what we added before regarding using the model scopes and this way of building implementing our own query builders is the auto completion. And so we know that we can bring the latest, and the latest we can just let's say have a default here, and we can say that we accept an integer. It can be a count, and we will say that it's 5, and here we just pass the count. Now we can remove our limit, and we can remove yep, and we have all our queries, all our time of requests in our collection. And yeah, but now let's see, how could we test this? To test this, we will have to do something like we can say that we expect the time of requests to have a count of 5, and we could then test if they all belong to that employee. And Brent yesterday on that video yesterday on that video, he was saying, okay, in order to test these queries, we don't need actually to reach the database, and I think that's something that's cool, because we can go and we can say time of requests and query or SQL. And can we get from the builder? So we have something cool on the builder. Let's DD the raw SQL to see what we have here. So actually we can do something different here, because if we just say that we want to go and get the raw SQL, now we can start to do something like to contain from time of requests. Okay, so we are building the query in the correct way, and now we can come here and remove this from here. Okay, they are passing, and we are not creating nothing on the database. And if we just say, okay, if of employee, and we know that we are always using UIDs on this application, so we can change this and say, okay, we accept a string, and it's going to be the employee ID, and now employee ID. And so now we don't need the employee, and we just can go and use the Laravel string facade. Where do we have? It's here, and give me a UID 7 because we are using these ones, and give me the string. And attempt to read ID on a string, of course. This doesn't make sense anymore. How can we use this? Okay, select star from time of request where employee ID. Let's just do this. Down. This is so let's say time off request. And now let's see if we can play a little bit with this. Okay. How are we going to play with this? And now we want to return. We want to return, of course, this string here. And let's say that this is going to be the employee ID. Yeah, but it's missing this. I think this will do the trick, right? Okay, so now we know that time of request query builder can scope employee and latest. And now let's say that we want test. Yeah. Time of requests. Test selects from the correct table, let's say. Yep. So this is what we are expecting, right? But we are on PHP 8.4. We don't need this parentheses. Okay, so this is the way that I think that Brent was suggesting, was talking about, like we can even test our query builders without the need of creating records on the database, and we can really understand what we are building regarding our queries. Okay, so this is cool, and now we can use it. Let's use it. And let's see if our code it's more readable in the end. Okay, because this is doing the trick. Right, we are getting the tree because it's this employee only has 3 time offs requests, and now we want to implement this on this. We want to refactor our controller. Employee overview controller. Employee over view controller again. Okay. So here, instead of using this latest user time of request query, we can use the time of request query builder. Okay, now we have it here. We can say that we want this from this employee ID. And we want to get the latest, and let's say we only want 2, and we want to make the query, and we want to load our relations. To mount, no, to load. So let's see what weapon here on the 2. 3. Okay, cool. And now we can extend our time of request query builder, and let's bring a way so to allow us to filter by the status. So it's easy. It's like implementing scopes on our models, but with let's say with auto-completion, and we understand what is happening inside of our queries. And now we can say that we want of type, and it's not going to be a string, it's going to be a time of no, it wasn't the type, it was of status, right, that we were talking about, or type. Status, we have something that where we manage the request status. Yeah, status, and now we can in our controller we could say that of status, and then we could say that we want the request status, and we could say pending. Only pending, but now we can continue to extend our query, and we can make our lives easier. But for me, it's one of the biggest advantages is this one of status, and we have auto completion. We know how we can build our queries, but now since we know our status, we can say that we want a public function for pending. Okay, and we can say okay, pending approval. Maybe it's even more semantic. We don't need to pass this, and it's only pending. And let's open our request status and check all the possible okay, so we have public function approved. Public function rejected. Right. So this is, let's see, how could we use this in our queries? So we have the latest, and we can say, okay, I want to have the approved ones and the ones that are pending approval. So interesting. So what is happening is that we are filtering for both. So we are expecting this is creating an end on the query. So we can solve this in another way, because here when we are saying of status, okay, we are accepting a request status, but we could put an array and we can say, okay, it's either and now we could say something like yes, and we return early. So we have these two options, and now we can say that of status, and we could say something like pending and approved. And now we have both pending and approved on our list. But we can, again, let's say we want to show all the status. We could do this, we can do this in a different way, because of status, and we can also, instead of having that mix there, we can do public function, and it could be something like of status, and we want to say status in, okay, and now we can roll back this. So if we wanted, we could say we have of status, it accepts one status only, or we can say that the status is in, and then we pass the array of status. Yeah. And in this case, we will not see the cancelled ones. Okay, so let's look at this and see if we could implement improve this a little bit. So of course that we are always going getting the time of request for employee. It's going to be one of the most common operations that we are going to do on this application. We will need to check, okay, we will need to check if it has, if it hasn't, what are the status of each one, and we will be repeating this query. So one way that we can improve it, so we can continue to use it, is assuming that this is going to be used a lot of times in the context of only an employee. So one thing that we could do is on the evoke method, we could accept or not an employee. No, we are going to accept a string. And it's going to be the employee ID, okay, by default, and it's going to be null by default, and we are going to just say if employee ID, we are going to say that this of employee ID, we just pass the employee ID, and now when we are here, we are going to say, okay, time of request, and we want to pass the employee ID. And if we refresh this, we will get the same result. And it's one less line of code. And now other stuff that we can do. So we could say that we could have methods for to handle the load of the relations, and it could be something like load all the relations, load the base relations, yeah, let's put it right after the make. This can be public. Public function load relations, and it can accept an array. It's going to be an array of strings and functions. But if we don't pass it, and if it's an empty array, we want to go and load all the relations of the model. And how can we do this? Do we have access in some way to get the model relations? New time of request, get relations. No, it's just this by that. Of course. Empty. with relationship autoload. Will this do the trick? Okay. So let's see. If the array is empty, right? But it's complaining about something. But we don't have the model. We have if empty relations. What does this builder? No, we are getting. So actually, I think we don't have any advantage with this method. Or I don't know how to do it right now. So I'm going to drop it. Okay. So I'm quite happy with what we have achieved. I think we have a good and solid solution to manage our queries on our system. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up for today. I was able to compare implementing this with the scopes inside of a model, or building our own query builder classes, and how to test them without creating records on the database, just by asserting the SQL statement that they are building. And it was cool. And I think the videos on Twitch and on YouTube, they just went fine. I will find out, and hopefully that I was able to fix the problems that I had with my laptop. And if I solve this, I don't need to buy a new laptop for Christmas. So, see you. Bye.